So many issues are prevalent in Honkai Star Rail. So today, guys, I want to talk about all of the issues in Honkai Star Rail, that going from quality of life to every single problem that we've seen come up over the past couple years that maybe necessarily have not been fixed yet, or are getting worse and worse as the more time progresses in the game. So guys, as 2024 is closing, I figured I'd make a video on both Honkai Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see the other video, and talk about all the problems that I have with both of these games, Honkai Star Rail being this video today, and then talk about maybe ways and things they can do to actually fix the game or make it better in the long run to make more players want to play the game longer. And also, if I don't cite a problem in this video that you think is a problem, please let that be known in the comment section down below. Or if you think a point I have is absolutely copium, let me know that too, because I'm sure there'll be a lot of those players in the comment section down below. The first point I want to touch on, guys, is actually quality of life for sets. Now, what I mean by sets is like your gear set, relic sets, everything like that. Now, the reason I want to touch on this is because I feel like they have been skirting around the quality of life that I've actually wanted in the game for years now. Like, they've added great things, like the recommendation system. This is a great system for checking what sets you currently have. For newer players that don't know how to build certain characters and they don't look at guides or anything, this provides a great alternative to that. It gives you a filter between sets. All of this is great. I think these are great quality of life changes, but damn, where are these sets? I want sets. For example, I want to be able to take this set that I currently have on my Topaz and go, hey, you know what? Jingyuan could use this set right about now, and then automatically swap this set over to Jingyuan, right? I think that is such a huge quality of life thing that it would be easily implementable because, I mean, like, you already have things in the game like locking gear. You literally have recommended gear right here. You literally have this whole recommendation system where you're doing this. I mean, I don't see why having a gear selector in the game is an issue at all. Literally, like, if you have a team-based system, like, they already have, like, a created teams, preset save teams, or whatever, like, they could implement a similar system just to gear sets. You know how helpful that would be? I guess it wouldn't be, like, helpful in the grand scheme of things of the game, but it would save a lot of time. Say you're struggling, like, with one of the in-game game modes, right? And you want to say, oh, maybe I should use a different team now. Then you can swap out your DPS, swap out support, and then go, oh, move sets from here to here, easy as that. It is such a big time save rather than going in, finding the relics you absolutely want, like, and then saying, yeah, that's the one we're gonna go with. I just think overall gear sets would be really huge. That's one of these small things that I really want to ask for. I think is easily achievable by adding a sub menu into the game just like they have already. Number 2 problem with Honkai Star Rail, guys, is actually going to be the power creep. As you guys know, I'm sure you've seen many videos about it. I made a video about it. Power creep in Honkai Star Rail is absolutely insane, and it's not even just like power creep with characters per se, right? Because I feel like there is prevalent power creep within characters, right? Like, and you can obviously see that difference here in the Pride to Win GG tier list. Like, we have characters like Argenti, we have characters like Zila here, we have like all of these like older characters like Blade here that are kind of like dropping in tiers. Our dot characters dropping in tiers here because they have released more damaging DPS in the game. Not to say that their niche types don't matter, but it's kind of making the niche types that these characters are in kind of irrelevant, right? Because you've now added, first of all, characters in that do absolutely more damage than these do, but you've also added enemies into the game that, first of all, don't really play well with the said weakness typing, and then you've also added enemies into the game that have insanely high health bars. I don't think there's any easy way to fix HP inflation, because as you power creep characters and with their scale of damage, you're also in turn going to have to power creep the health to make the content seem relevant to the current time, right? Because if you never scale HP up and you have characters that inherently just do more damage, you're going to be clearing the content faster and easier than you ever did before. It puts the game in the point like, oh, well, I can just kind of clear this easy peasy, so there's no point of actually pulling new characters because nothing's actually getting harder. But something I do feel like that it could help massively with this is kind of like what they do with currently Pure Fiction, Apocalyptic Shadow. Do the same thing for Forgotten Hall, right? And what I mean by this, guys, is the ability to have like those set buffs that you can choose that help out certain teams and certain archetypes. Now, sure, it might play into you having to pull more for the meta. It could potentially do that, right? But look, they've already kind of counteracted some of the power creep within this game mode here, and honestly making it better for some other characters who actually play in this game mode by having this grid effect here. On top of this, they have this extra ability here. You can choose between 1 and 3 abilities here to put on the team and enhance that team. I feel like if they did this with the Memory of Chaos, it would make the in-game there much better, because that's where most of the complaints are coming from, right? Not to say there's not HP inflation with these other game modes, but having these buffs here make it easier for other niche characters to actually complete the content. Some of the older characters to complete this content, right? Because, I mean, we do have things like DOT buff to make DOT prevalent in these game modes, right? I think Pure fixture. I think this has it right here. Is this the one? Yeah. Persistent decay. You can literally get extra dot tally from using this buff right here. So I feel like if they were to add more of these into the game, it'd definitely help alleviate that power creep feeling, because then you could buff up some older teams and help them clear the content as well. And also I think increasing the HP in that instance would also not be as bad, because now we have kind of buffs to counteract that for certain teams, right? So I think this could be a really good thing to help slow the rate of power creep within enemies that we have. Like, I get most people will probably say on this, oh, just add new mechanics into the game. And yes, adding new mechanics in the game is great. They've already been doing this for a while. They've added many mechanics into the game with new enemies coming to the game and stuff like that. But the problem with adding new mechanics into the game, there's also an inherent power creep with that as well. And that's going to be making you invest more horizontally, because the more niche types of damage that you need to defeat enemies, the more characters you're going to have in your account. But on top of that, what they're also doing is increasing the HP pool, which then kind of makes you do a vertical investment as well. So putting this on something like a graph, right? So overall, you're having to scale up, because you have new mechanic, new HP, new HP. Well, this bar would probably flatten out some if you didn't have some of the different HP increases that we have, and maybe just had mechanic increases or mechanic changes. So I feel like they're doing a great job of this with this right here. Maybe amplify some of these buffs a little bit more to help out with the persistent increase of HP, to help some of the other characters in the game clear, but don't make it too easy for some of the new characters to absolutely steamroll it. Okay, that's my criticism on how to fix it with that. Now let's hop into what I talked about before. 4 stars. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. Give us some new goddamn 4 stars. Holy shit. We're releasing 2 5 stars almost every patch still. Please, God, give us some new 4 stars. We have a new path coming out to the game. I truly thought, guys, that they were going to be releasing another 4-star character with 3.0, but we didn't get that. Guys, probably the best character we've gotten is Gallagher as far as 4-star goes. The last character we got was Mose. And yes, I get it. They've upgraded the path for MC. They've upgraded the path for March. Yes. Okay, cool. I get that. The reason I don't like that is because, first of all, MC, you're taking them away from another role now, because you've already made them such good in this one MC, like Harmony MC role, which blows miles above the rest of both Physical Trailblazer and also Fire Trailblazer as well, Preservation Trailblazer. So that's a good change. Yes, great. That's basically a new 4-star. Hunt March 7th, basically a new 4-star. But what happens when they start adding in other integrations where their past integration is good, and this new integration's also good? Give us more fucking 4 stars. Also, a big thing with this as well, I think any like late game player can relate to this, or any maybe even mid game player as well can relate to this. When we're summoning on banners, guys, what are we supposed to do when the banners are just filled with characters that we've already maxed out? It feels kind of useless at some points to pull in these banners, and it makes you feel like you're not really getting anything. You're just kind of hunting for the 5-star, right? There's no like sprinkles of joy along the way, I guess you could say, right? Because we're going to be hunting for Fugue here, right? But I already have E6 of all these characters here, so I mean, like, it feels like shit the whole while I'm pulling, because yes, while Yukong might feel trash, right? While Misa might feel trash, right? Or be trash, right? At least we're getting some type of upgrade, something I can go in to this menu here and go like, oh, look at that. I get another odd line for Asta instead of getting 17 fucking dupes and feeling absolute shit. I mean, like, sure, yeah, you get summons off of it, but please add more 4 stars into the game. This will not only help out new players coming to the game by adding these new 4 stars that can be pulled on any banner, it is also going to help some of these free-to-play players as well that can't beat the content, because you can make these 4 stars fit into some of these niches, like the break niche. Oh my god, would it be so hard to add a super break support for 4-star characters? Or wow, would it be so hard to add like another DOT support for 4 stars? No, that would help out the meta so much. That would help out a lot of characters, honestly. That would help out a lot of players, honestly, because you're adding more versatility for them to the game, rather than having to save up their Stellar Jades for this character to fit this certain niche to beat this content, you know? I feel like that would help out a lot, even with power creep problems as well. Or maybe buff them? Like, that's hard to do. On to my next point here, guys, which is going to be more diverse content. Now, what do I mean by more diverse content? First of all, I do want to note, I do think in-game is pretty good in this game. I think the diversity of game modes that we have and then rotating them every couple of weeks, I think that's fine. Could they do better with it? Could they do more with it? Sure. They could. They've already shown us that they can do this with something like Pure Fiction, right? Where they've already went through, upgraded, and added the grit system into the game, which adds more versatility or kind of like puts a different skin on this in-game game mode, right? And I feel like they could definitely do this with MOC. I feel like MOC is definitely outdated, or feels really outdated at this point compared to both Apocalyptic Shadow and Pure Fiction, and I feel like that could be improved upon, right? I think they do great improvements with Simulated Universe. I think Simulated Universe has made massive strides, and it is really good as well. My main problem, though, is with events, right? Events are my #1 gripe because I feel like the events in this game are absolutely abysmal. Like, I feel like I just end up skipping most of the events. Like, this is another picture event. Guys, I don't want to do another fucking picture event, you know what I mean? Like this event right here, oh my god, is fucking, I don't want to take fucking pictures, guys. This was a cool event. Not gonna lie, I thought this was a cool event. This is the shit I like to see right here. And to be truthful and honest with you guys, I really don't even need like new like combat events in the game, right? I think like the one where you could combine like the stuff together, it was really cool, like with the bat event where you could combine all the different stuff together to make like new items to do that event. I thought that was a really cool event. I also thought the event with the like trash cans and stuff were really cool, but usually I think they use a lot of these events to kind of like, or the combat events anyway, to kind of show what we're getting in the future, right? Like the memo sprites, I think, is an obvious inspiration for the memo sprites we have today, right? Like, I want to see events like this, guys. This is a non-PvP event. This is Fall Girls event right here. You kind of see like something in Zenless Zone Zero how they've changed like the story, but you can add events like this into the game. I think Honkai, literally, your company does this. Literally, just give us events like this. I think this is a really fun event. I think you get a lot of people to play. This also adds an element of PvP into the game, which we'll get into in a second here, because I do think that PvP would be really good for the longevity of this game, and you don't even need PvP in terms of like, oh, whose team can clear faster, right? Do events like this right here, Fall Girls. You're competing against other people. You can invite people to this thing and fight against them. They've already done this with like that little bird matching event or whatever. That's an easy event to do. We have this new event in the game right now, which is like a poker event in Honkai Impact the Third. Like, having stuff like this would be super cool. Just new, interesting, and unique events. Like, honestly, guys, I only get on Honkai Impact the Third now to play these events. Like, I think that by far, Honkai Impact the Third has the best events of any Hoyoverse game out right now. I think, bar none, they have the best events, and I definitely think that the Honkai Star Rail could take inspiration from these and add these new cool events in there. Like, like for the minigame event, like, you just need to add new minigames, or even recycle some, add a new minigame every once in a while, right? I think adding minigames like that is so fun. Like the dice roll event that we had for the year anniversary, I thought that was really good. Give us new events. And there's already examples on the table of how they can actually do that and execute that. Now, and the same thing can be said with PvP, guys. Like, PvP is another gripe that I have. I think by adding PvP into this game, you could actually make people want to play the game even more, because I feel like a lot of in-game players have gotten to the point where it's like, yeah, I don't know if they want to play anymore. Like, I'm going to log in and do my late dailies and like do my weeklies. But adding something like PvP in the game, I think would incentivize players to play more, especially if you have it rewarded, right? Now, I'm not going to sit here and say like to like do direct PvP, right? I think like Honkai Impact the Third, I think is a great example of many things that a gacha game can do right in terms of like the events that they do and like the PvP they have, right? I'm not gonna sit here and say that their PvP system's like perfect by any means, right? But I think Honkai Impact the Third has a good enough PvP system where they have like a leaderboard system, right? Where they have their, I don't know the exact name off the top of my head, maybe it's like IBOQ or something like that. But basically they have like this leaderboard system where you can place in different like stagnations of ranks, and then you can rank yourself to see how good you are. That would honestly, that gives zero cyclers much more opportunity to do what they want to do, but then also gives like some like casual players maybe something more to work towards as well, rather than just beating the content within 10 cycles, right? It kind of adds a sense of competition to the game, and it doesn't really matter if there's whales or anything, as long as you don't add like in super top end rewards, like hard to get rewards for every single player that are like that extreme in difference. I think it'll be absolutely fine to do something like that. And then it would give those sweats something to play for, guys. They could come in your comment section, or they could come in a YouTube video and be like, oh, look at me, I'm a top 1% player. Like, they could do easy, very easy integration of PvP into the game. I think it would enhance the longevity of this game. The final point I want to touch on, guys, and this point is going to get me a lot of fucking flame. The story. Gacha smacks at it the best, guys. There is too much goddamn bloat in these stories. I have not done the past 3 stories, guys. I haven't done the Fugue story from this patch, I haven't done the Sunday story from last patch, and I definitely didn't do that goddamn Rappa story. And I heard the Sunday story is good. It was pretty concise. But I've heard the Rappa story is an absolute slog, and my god, I don't want to play it, guys. There is just so much fucking yapping. This is the reason why I quit Genshin Impact, guys, is because of the goddamn story has so much fucking yapping in it that I can't skip through it, right? I can't even skip through this shit, right? I had to sit here and just like, oh my god, and just fucking play damn Cookie Clicker, fucking clicking through this. I'm playing Cookie Clicker with no reward, basically, right? I get a fucking, you can finally bust a nut off when finally you finish the story, but I mean, damn, the slog fest you have to go through to actually get to that point, it's fucking crazy. It's insane, and I hate that. Guys, goddamn, just please, you can cut the story down. We don't need all the yapping, okay? I think Zenless Zone Zero does a great job of keeping yap down the story, or having like even a good storyline in general just to follow off of, and it kind of keeps it concise as well. And then also, a fucking skip button it has. Oh my god! Can we please get a skip button in HSR? That's all I want. That's all I want is a skip button in HSR. Fuck the retention. I don't give a fuck, bro. If you have a shit story, I'm skipping through it. I think Saint Tontas said something like, you know, if the story was good, then you should have a skip button, and then players wouldn't hit the skip button if the story was good enough, right? And I absolutely agree with that. But I also think you should give players the choice to skip through the story if they don't give a shit about the story, right? Like, there's some story beats I care about, but I don't give a fuck about that Rappa story. Let me skip through that dumb shit, okay? Like, I don't give a fuck about it, okay? I'll skip a few sections. I don't care if fucking lore, plot, whatever the fuck's there. Let me skip through that shit, goddamn, okay? I like the core mechanics, I like the core gameplay, but fucking goddamn the fucking YAPFEST they have, I fucking hate that shit. Literally, add a skip button. Easiest thing ever. Skip, give a recap after if you want to recap. Fuck it. Like, do that, right? Or, better yet, you know what you could do? I'll enhance this. Skip, recap, replayability within stories. Easiest fucking thing ever. Go back, if you want to go see a fucking story, you go back and redo that story. Anyways, guys, that's my little rant today on HSR and how to fix it, okay? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. I wanted to get this video out before the year ends, though, because I do feel like there are a lot of problems with HSR, even though it's a great game, even though I love this game. But these are things that can be addressed and be fixed with the game. Anyway, sorry if there's not much editing here, because I just kind of want to get all my thoughts across the table. Anyways, guys, that's the end of today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one later. Bye-bye.